Mind Twister. Oof. That Enrican guy really is dangerous. So she will continue trying to whisper in his ear from a distance. 22.
Yes.
Alright.
Sheep, is this a spell?
This is a spell, yes.
I want to counter magic this.
Alright.
Or try to counter magic it.
Yes. The whispers get completely just silenced.
Talia just reached out her hand and draws a dispelling rune that just shatters the magic.
That's good.
Anakin looks over to Talia and nods in appreciation.
I mean, it's that like Anakin would begin stabbing her, like cutting her with a scythe or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was in her interest as well.
She turns to her like racist. She's like,
like it raises up a little bit.
Mind Twister frowns and points her adjacent ally towards Enrican. Will charge.
Help.
A second.
Hirandor. Big dragon buddy.
I'll let Talia do. It sounds like Talia has a plan.
Well, if Hirandor wants to intercept, I'd prefer that.
Yeah, sure. I can indeed attempt to pop out and grab him, but I cannot. So I can't grab him.
They'll just pass Hirandor just to get intercepted by Talia instead, who he will strike at. And miss. He had his eyes set on Enrican in the back, but couldn't reach him. Splation Die goes free.
Anakin
Mages
has
got to stick together.
160 hit points.
Yes, the mages stick together here.
I'll try and
It's me and Anakin
just
against the
wiggle
world.
closer.
Grab.
I'll try to finish off over here. Maybe we can make a snack for my friend Anakin so he'll like me again. I'll attack this thing. Yeah. Oh.
That's
Just
the
take
sword.
me a hit. Well, then he'll go engage this thing. Because he has not had enough of these fiery monsters, as it turns out. Alright, he will give escalation die to the Wraith, which will move down here, and it will attack with its ghost blade on this one.
That's just a hit.
14 damage.
Slicing into him. It is this guy's turn then, who is engaged with Hirandor, which she's okay with. So he'll strike at Hirandor and miss, which he's not okay with. And then, upon urging of the Mind Twister at the top, he will try to disengage and fail.
He is not leaving.
He is determined to fight Hirandor. Anakin.
She needs to die up there. That's just how it is. Death
True.
knell? Anything?
Wave of Decay might be nice.
No.
The wave of decay is. I can Circle of Death and just nuke them, but I feel it's a bit overkill with these. I don't know.
Be aware on resources, but
I mean, it's one or the other. For me, I don't know what else you have, but the Circle of Death is very nice.
Would clean them up, probably.
I'd probably do that.
Okay. Circle of Death it is. It is time once again to drop a nuke. So we're gonna do that. Main target is the Whisper.
Mind Twister.
Yeah, whatever. You know
He
what I mean.
whispers a lot.
2 versus PD.
20, that hits.
Yes. 163 damage on her.
As she explodes.
Wonderful. And we will continue to do this. Splinter Crag Marauder is the next guy.
Number
on
11.
The,
10, 11, or 1.
I don't know. What's with him? 11. Yes, 11.
okay, this one here.
Yes. So let's do it again.
Yep, using the same damage.
It's
He
really good damage.
explodes.
Next one. That's a. Yep.
But that should
Yep.
kill
That one.
everyone but Hirandor.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that'd be cool.
And there's one more down there, so. Yeah.
Yep. They all explode. But please do roll against your allies as well.
I don't have any allies.
The damage you rolled was 9 for
I could
allies.
kill all of you if I didn't consider you.
Nah,
Uh,
you couldn't.
Oh yeah,
Kill
Hirando
me.
would survive, but I would death knell you with my
I mean,
quick
I
action.
get half if you roll badly.
Oh,
I get a quarter.
well, that's true because you're resistant, you sly bastard. Okay, Hirandor. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
That's fine.
22 PD?
Yeah.
That's a hit. Yep.
Did you say 9? Was it?
9 damage, yes.
And Talia
Yes.
and Graham. Oof, almost critted Graham.
Well,
And-
I'll guess I'll take 9.
And Warwick.
Yep.
And
Bring my damn resistance,
unless the battle continues, I guess we can just ignore the
Yeah.
minions because they disappear anyway.
Yes. The battle will be over.
Alright, once again, the bell tolls. The incredibly murder energies of everything just flows out. Anakin screams, reality groans, cracks. The energy just... Basically everything in here just cracks open. Dust hangs in the air. Black lightning shoots everywhere. Ghosts, screaming souls, everything. And then it's just gone. And Anakin sort of... leans on the side like...
As Talia wipes away a little bit of blood from the side of her nose.
looks over. Sorry. It's
Short rest time.
it's difficult to control.
I see. Talia says, as she'll just kind of look at him and just on purpose project a bright light on the end of her staff, just to be slightly passive aggressive.
After giving Anakin a few seconds to recover, Warwick will lumber over, his head still turned towards the pile of bones that the Chaos Acolytes left, and say with significantly concerned undertones, "We've fought these creatures before, some of them anyways, in Coppergate."
Anakin nods. What are they doing here? Is the question.
I had assumed that they were some creation of the Doom. But there was no Doom during these times.
Anakin
They are
nods.
servants likely of the darkness.
Yes, the dwellers from below, or whatever we want to call them.
Hirandor nudges whatever's left of one of these guys and says, we met and killed one of these when you all met Sintara, if you recall, underneath the tomb of the first enemy. They seem to well up everywhere.
Well, now there's a few less of them.
Give me perception checks.
Okay.
As the whistle in the distance continues.
God damn it.
Oh,
We could probably argue for background, but we're so many people that someone's gonna get it.
I think that someone is dark.
As I said before, Talia is good at perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know,
Wise.
natural
20?
20, so...
Alright.
And someone who beats that anyway.
Well, moments after Anakin unleashed his burst, all of you would have heard the sound of well, something hard hitting the flagstones and sort of footsteps-like sounds, but not quite. Both Enrican and Talia would think that presumably your two friends who have decided to go alone were very close, but after seeing that, decided to leave very quickly.
It's like, uh-oh. Did not like that. Okay.
Interesting.
I guess I don't hear it.
You heard the sounds, but both Talia and Enrican are pretty sure that it was not footsteps, but rather claws on flagstones.
Graham will turn that direction and say, sounds like there are more on the way.
Anakin looks
Let's
around.
get him.
I can't unleash that kind of power again.
I don't think we need to entirely.
I hope not. And then he coughs violently.
I'm pretty sure they got a good enough show.
And some like black goop or something comes out of him. It's like, ah,
Crawls away on the floor.
yeah.
Escapes. Graham will look after him and says, come on, there are sounds from that direction. If something's going there, then why not follow it? Take it out.
Sounds like a plan.
Follow the sound.
Okay, give me a follow the sound check then. As the sound, hearing it initially is easy enough, but it does try to distance itself from you.
Honestly, I'd warrant the same kind of thing. Perception with wilder background, hunting, following things. Makes sense. To me, at least.
Sure. The environment is a bit stranger than Tirando might be used to, but listening to sounds and trying to determine the direction, that sounds appropriate.
Wow, 20 is not going to do a huge amount these days.
Yeah, Hirando manages to track the sounds down a hallway, but as there's a crossing there rather soon, he wouldn't entirely be sure which way to go. Although he might think it's a particular way, he can't be certain.
Oh well. Back to following the whistle.
I guess if it's followable, I mean, it could be like echoing all over this place. We honestly don't know.
We've nothing else to go for.
I mean, just pick a wall. Pick a hand on the left wall and just go.
Graham will suggest that we go follow the route that leads us as far away from where we came from. Since the whatever is important is usually far away from the exit. Like,
I guess.
no, like in this path, we'd go straight because straight is usually the way that leads to like
Where-
something important.
Is the whistle coming from north?
The whistle does seem to be coming from north, although it is echoing rather significantly.
Yeah, so fine. But
That way.
Sure, I guess. Like this structure sheep, is it man-made? Is it high tech? Is it made of like?
The structure, to try to describe it a bit better, is a stone structure. The flagstones are maybe like worn marble. The stones themselves are sort of grey brick-like. If it weren't for the fact that every surface is very smooth and the occasional flicker of odd light playing across its walls, it would just look like a man-made stone structure.
Okay. Design-wise, is it human? Is it ancient? Is it like where would an archaeologist place it?
Where would Enrican, the archaeologist, place it? He would think it's maybe similar to designs he has seen before in other underground structures like lost tombs or whatever he has been in. So definitely more on the ancient side. It is not something that has been built recently. And while it is built with bricks, it doesn't really resemble like any building style he would know from the Isles, like Grand Castle.
Okay.
The only real comparison is that it uses bricks, but it doesn't use the same mortar or apparently any mortar at all, and looks far too smooth than should be possible, really.
Hmm. Sure, we can take the middle path. Since we don't know which path leads where, any path is good.
Alright, take the middle path. Let me clean up a bit. Going down this route, you do occasionally come across even small groups of more of the strange Chaos Acolyte humanoids, as it were, occasionally accompanied by horned humanoids, not exactly like the marauders you fought before, but certainly armed still, who throw themselves at you, although that is not something that requires initiative or anything, as you are rather well and easily able to deal with them. It is strange, however, as each of them charges at you with determination, with battle cries, with no hesitation whatsoever, and no guidance apparently either. Occasionally you round a corner and just see these humanoids throwing yourself at you. That sort of trend does continue every couple minutes perhaps as you traverse the structure with its same looking hallways, its same looking crossings. And eventually, other than the whistle coming from distance, you also hear the sounds of battle, the sounds of claws scraping against stone, the sounds of creatures being thrown around.
Does it sound like dragons being thrown around?
Certainly does to Hirando.
Wonderful.
Certainly would to all of you.
Let's
Maybe
just,
to the other side. I think
maybe,
there was something over there.
Yeah, we should. I think we saw something over in that direction. Actually, we should probably investigate for a few hours.
Randall gives the largest eye roll.
Cries for help.
No cries for help.
Mercy, pitifully.
I mean, honestly, like Graham, we don't want to interfere with their free will and their like glorious quest. If they don't ask for help, if they don't ask for help, I'm not going to interfere with them. You know,
We can go look. I mean, stand a little bit away.
yeah,
and see
sure,
if they
sure.
wanna
No,
ask
we
for help.
can maybe shout some encouragements.
Yeah. So I guess the idea is to get within sight distance, but far enough away that we're not interfering in the battle, right? Then we'll wait for them to ask for help.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, they chose to be alone. And now we're gonna be the guys who are like, oh, yeah, you want to be alone? All right. Asshole dragons didn't want to
No,
help.
we're
They're
not
gonna get
haughty.
it.
We respect them, Hirandor.
They said they insisted. Very,
Such a sarcastic respect. It almost burns.
It's delicious, isn't it?
If it carries on, it's going to feel like the heat inside of Crimson Peak. Ever present.
only
the only thing
fire.
that
Annoying.
warms my dead heart
Just-
nowadays.
Tyler just pats Hirando on the tail.
You
Back in
want
my
to-
day, we killed ourselves for a great cause.
now look at this.
You're not that old, Hirando.
Hey, I ate the Undragon to save us from Anrikin ripping
I
a hole in all
saw-
realities.
I saw no such thing.
It was only an option. It was an option.
Wouldn't be a shame if you were to die for those two idiots without them even asking for help. I mean,
It's true.
Maybe I could rip a hole in their reality.
they might win the fight.
Yeah. And be terribly weakened from
good.
it. Anakin licks its lips.
The sounds certainly look like the fight is serious, although it is hard to tell just from the echoing sounds that arrive, for you to hear who's exactly winning.
Presumably,
will
there's
go
a really
ahead.
long hallway we can look down and then look at the fight.
Maybe they're just around a corner.
Oh, that'd be annoying.
Yeah. Well. Miranda will certainly just go ahead walk over.
Alrighty.
Slight quick step, but he's not gonna charge away.
The sounds of battle are coming from your east, not the direction where the whistle's coming from, and do sound at least somewhat distant, although distance really is hard to tell. It is, however, definitely loud and centralized enough that you could find it without too much trouble.
I think we at least want to know what it is, right?
I mean, it's the dragons fighting these humanoids.
It might not be those dragons, though. It might just be other dragons.
What's the chance there can be other dragons here? Sort of
What's
like
the
an
chance of
Arkham's
tieflings
Razor
being
thing.
here?
Be like, I mean, they're like interplanetary bad guys.
Yeah, but like, what were the chances? Did you honestly think, oh, we're gonna meet those guys here? Like,
We can certainly split up.
that's even worse than an idea.
We'll go and take a look at least. But like, if it takes us too far out away, then it might just be like some sort of diversion. They're like hammering on pots and pans over there to lure us in a trap or something.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
don't think they'd be above that. I suppose we'll follow the sound for now. Being cautious. There's no reason to rush ahead into something.
I agree.
Alright, following the sound to the east.
Want to get a look from a distance if possible. We don't want to engage in any battle before knowing what's going on.
It takes a little while to get closer, and the sound of battle does seem to slowly die out. But as it turns out, just as you think, the sound might have disappeared completely, and they have gone back to trying to be quiet. You can quite clearly make out words echoing through the hallway, which is a pretty angry sounding, "This is useless. What is this place? There's no sense to any direction. There's just this sound. This is no competition. This is not the battle I was..." The frustration in quite clearly the blue demon's voice is clear. And it does seem to pretty much be around the corner, so you could go and look at him if you wanted to.
Yeah,
Look, see others. I mean, they clearly won the fight. They don't need our help.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we can walk past them, sure. Let's do that. That seems good.
Just walk straight
Let's
past.
act as
like
if we know
that's
where
how.
we're going. We have the whistle to follow.
Just wave as we go by.
We'll go out of the way, like, just sort of as if we haven't hurt them.
Evening.
Sort of.
evening.
We're going up. We're going this way, and then we're turning like north again, or they're in there. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I guess we're going this way and then turning
Yeah.
north.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a north way there. I guess we're going that way.
No,
Sure.
there's nowhere there.
Oh, so there's like a
basically-
closed off room.
This is this is a hallway you could go if you wanted to.
Well, we want to go whichever way is north.
Right, you want to go north. This is a bit more abstract. So if you want to go north, you can go north.
Okay. Well,
They look at you as you
walk past
pass.
them, give them sort of a nod. Look at the little ones there. Just sort of saying lots of these things in here. Huh?
They don't really give an answer, but stare at you unblinkingly with obvious
I will-
frustration.
We'll give them a smile that tells them that he heard how much of a spectacle they made fighting this few guys, and that he's not impressed. And then he'll just continue walking. He can walk forever. He's never gonna get tired. You're like potions and stuff to keep us going.
Just walk
Just
past.
if
fucker.
you want to tag along, you still can. Sort of nods to the back of the party.
They continue staring, their frown deepening.
I'm sure you have some clue of where to go yourselves, so don't let me keep you. You insisted, of course. I suppose we keep going north. Finding the whistle.
Yeah, hunt for the whistle.
Uh,
These two guys are too proud.
they
All they need to do was ask. See, I even gave them an in. I was like, you can join us, but they were like, no. Right, fine. Promised little guy we'll try. We're certainly trying.
Time passes as you continue north. Continue going after the whistle. Minutes, perhaps, although it is probably approaching hours at this point. And you do believe that you are, in fact, coming closer.
Wonderful. Okay, guys, since you just came back, we found the two dragons. They had just killed off like 5 of these guys. They were really like breathless.
Okay.
And we asked them if they wanted to come with us, and they were like, no, no. And then we were like, oh, fine. Then we continue
No,
on.
they insisted.
Yeah.
No, well, we can't do anything if they insist. I mean,
I know. I mean, even asked them like, dude, you could just like come with us and like point to the back of the party, but they didn't do anything. So they didn't even have to say anything. They could just quietly come, and they wouldn't even have to like stand it down or anything. But no,
all right.
too much.
Well, fuck them.
Yeah, I know. They wasted our time.
We will be respectful of their wishes.
We
Fight
are.
the whistle. I mean, we're being incredibly magnanimous here. Like, if we wanted to kill them, we could jump them right there, right after battle. We could have
We are.
gutted them and make it shrine of the entrails, but no.
We are ambassadors of peace. That's what we are.
Sworn enemies, and yet, look at us. We told the little guy we'd do it, and we're doing it. So
Can't help it that they're idiots.
Dad better be watching.
And as you continue north, you do notice that the hallway you're going across does seem to widen over time. First, it's sort of okay for Hirundo and Warwick to walk side by side if they wanted to, and then it would be easily possible. It is also easily noticeable that the flashes of green light snaking across the walls seem to, as before, they have been pretty random, just sort of going this way and then that way and then back again. They do all seem to be following the same direction that you are going, towards the whistle.
All right. Is the whistle getting louder?
Perhaps, although it is the kind of sound where it's really hard to tell. Especially since if it has been getting louder, it has been getting louder so slow as you approach it that it's not really noticeable.
It's not uncomfortably loud then.
No, not yet.
All right.
With the like green flash on the wall, can Talia tell really what's going on with that? Is it like magic traveling through the walls, or?
Talia could roll me a magical skill check.
Sure, she can roll your magical skill check. 5 plus. One moment. Yeah. Roll a 5.
Talia would think that these flashes are certainly magical in nature, some sort of energy traveling about, perhaps something of the sort, but she can't really tell what exactly they are.
Okay. It's gonna be that constant look on Talia of frustration of it's on the tip of her tongue, but she can't work out what it is.
Graham realizes that we're in a stone structure built somewhere in the void with alien creatures in it, so he doesn't even ask the question. Green stuff in the wall doesn't seem harmful, so.
But it doesn't change that Talia wants to know what it is.
Oh, definitely.
She wants to know what everything
I
here
think
is.
it's like a holy mission to know.
Pretty much, her holy mission is to learn everything about everywhere.
Move you guys here. As you continue north. You do, as you come across yet another crossing, as you've passed so many at this point. Once again, the sounds of claws on flagstones. This time, not the sort of walk one would have, not the kinds of sounds a Terran would make if they are trying to be quiet, nor the sound that one would make if they were charging at you. but definitely coming closer to you. And shortly thereafter, the two do peek their head in.
Hello.
As they look towards you, glancing towards the walls, the flashes of lightning crawling across them, and the whistle coming from the north. Glancing at each other with a
smile, gives a slight nod to the end of the party. You know.
Anakin looks at them and says, "Well, greetings. Fancy meeting you here. Welcome. Do come in."
The Blueton just frowns slightly, glancing towards his companion, who steps forward, drawing himself up a bit from his usual sort of snaky pose. He says, "This place is confusing. I would not believe that this really is the competition that the copper has given us."
Anakin
I
looks
would
at him.
disagree.
It sounds like something a copper would do.
He shakes his head. "Even coppers have a point."
So this looks much more. I mean, it's much bigger than in the present, certainly.
Honestly, we don't know what power the copper has in this place. As far as I understood it, he can do whatever he likes. He looks around. This place is odd. It is similar to creatures we have fought before, from the dwellers in the dark, the creatures from below, the coming madness and all that. These are the creatures they spawn.
I'm honestly surprised you two don't know them, befriended them.
You are, after all, allied with these creatures by extension. It seems odd that you have never seen them before.
Maybe they
We
have not
have
been
no
told
interest.
everything there is to be told.
We have no interest allying with creatures of madness. We simply wish to preserve our homeland. But you wouldn't understand, obviously.
Anakin
Regardless,
quirks an eyebrow. I think I understand the will to preserve one's homeland perfectly. Which is, again, why I'm sort of puzzled why you have chosen these creatures.
regardless, I would suggest that we ignore the copper's maze, combine our efforts to find out what it is we are supposed to find. And once we have, we can decide how to.
Anakin does the biggest eye roll he is able to over to Graham.
I says, so you wish to join us then?
Perhaps. We are aware that we cannot beat you in a fight. We have heard much about you. We would be foolish to even try. If the copper's competition is a battle between you and us, then the decision has already been made. The least we could at least ask is that we know what this is all about.
This is finally something seemingly sensible. You just have done this from the beginning.
Took a death labyrinth.
Regardless, I suppose more madness creatures died from it. Come along. I suppose we'll continue north, right? Let these guys follow us.
They do follow in some distance. In sight distance still. But
Do they not want to have a nice casual conversation about how much this place actually makes sense?
They I think it's more that they're afraid of whatever is from here and they want us to fight it instead of because they're not that good, so you know.
They also don't seem to be the talkative kinds.
But Talia loves talking right now. One of her magic item quirks even says she loves the sound of her voice. So.
Graham likes to think of the good old days. That's when his things. He's like, oh.
You know, Talia's going
It
to
was so much better back when the world was ending from horrible snow and ice and everyone was dying around me.
You know, Talia's going to try talking back to them. If
Wait,
nothing else,
doesn't
just to annoy
seem-
them.
Anakin is flabbergasted that these creatures would ally with the utter destruction of all existence to save their homeland. It seems somehow counterproductive.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No,
You know,
I
Graham-
can't put my finger on it really, but the gaping maw of madness did tell me that it would help me, so I believed it.
Why wouldn't you?
Sarlacc pit is like, no, I could.
Honestly, I'm quite.
Just come a little closer. Come in, you know. That's not bad.
Lean forward, little one, so I can hear you speak better.
I mean, they probably haven't been told everything, and they're blindly trusting their mad leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Because
Maybe
when
our
she's
quest here is
like
to convince them that
when
we
she's like sprouting tentacles from her eyes and mouths from her mouth, like, you know, you're like, oh no, that she seems perfectly normal.
We can say, I told you so.
No, we'll be even better than that. We will save them, and we'll be gracious in doing so. And we'll reach down our hand and pull them up with a little smile and say, "Oh, don't worry, little dragon. You're safe. I shall protect you.
It'll be the
Get behind me, little dragon."
Mhm.
You know, and they will know.
Get behind the shield
they
of humanity.
They will never live it down.
No, the shield of the dread will protect even the dragons.
I am okay with this.
Even the little ones get protection.
I am okay with this.
Even the foolish. For we are not them. We are magnanimous.
They wouldn't want to be us. Let's be
We are
honest.
gentle, God.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. They wouldn't want to be us. Not with all the stuff we go through.
And following this hallway, the movement of the whisks of green light on the walls are definitely no longer random, as they are almost like arrows pointing you north. And turning this corner here reveals more colors than just the green ones snaking across the lights, the walls even. As you can see, something else, which I'm just going to partly reveal here. Don't move, please.
Don't
And
move.
we'll, as people move close enough to Enric, then only they can hear what they're saying. You know, they have a way of doing that. He goes like, "Do you think the cover wants us to realize that we have to join with the Wilders to fight where this darkness is?"
Anakin shrugs.
So he might have had a little too much of these inhabitants of this place.
Maybe. Honestly, between you and me, I think every power and every force is needed to defeat it. It's just the problem that they are so corrupted by it that I fear that most of them won't see the truth.
And
He looks
what
around
is-
just right. Conspiratorially.
Mm-hmm.
What you see here shining into the hallway here is multicolored light, almost like a rainbow, emitted from a crystal structure kept in place by metal clamps and other almost machinery-like looking things around it, as well as around the room. Almost because there's certainly metal involved, but also slimy, almost appendage-like structures that don't look like any material that real machines would or really should use. There are some rock, almost stools around in front of rock desks, and the room is, of course, not empty. First of all, before I destroy any sort of strategy you might have here, do you simply walk into view? Have you been keeping quiet? Any of the sort?
I don't know. Keeping quiet seems weird if we're going towards something that
Yeah,
whistles
no.
a lot.
I don't think so.
No.
Graham's intention here. You know what? He'll walk in. Like, if no one else wants to, he'll at least go and
Use your sword and be
face
like,
whatever
what the
this
fuck
is."
is this shit?
No, more like
Handle it.
he's here to rescue his people from this slavery, and he has to stand up to whatever's in here, and that's
Sure.
how that works.
I
So,
mean, there's some sort of like weird crystalline structure here. Maybe a sword could be like, oh,
yeah, no, I'll mess with it, but I think what Chief's asking, do we just walk forward, or do we like peek around the corner or something?
I don't see why
Oh,
we
fuck
should
no.
peek.
In front here,
Randall is just like forward.
Alright.
No, not peeking.
He doesn't give a
this
shit.
side. Yeah, work. Get over here.
Be with your brother back there.
Work and defend Enrican while we're talking to the crystal. Go crazy or whatever.
I am a crazy crystal.
What do you see here then, other than the strange machinery,
I know this.
the chairs and desks you've seen before, are a number of, well, humanoids, definitely. Most of them weapons drawn, although not openly hostile.
Oh, you don't touch that crystal.
At least not charging towards you at this very moment. In the back end of this room, inside a part of the room that is completely covered with different just formations of light at the walls, displaying odd shapes and other things. Other than the two marauders, a rather tall creature that isn't exactly humanoid, although it does seem to have legs and the occasional arm. It is, however, hard to tell what exactly it is, as its entire being seems to be shifting in shadows, very similar to the swords of the of the Chaos Acolytes. Sort of hard to focus on. That is almost not there, but definitely is quite real and quite able to slice. The person in the very back, again one of these horned humanoids, is dressed in the clothing of a leader. Instead of armor, he wears robes. Instead of, well, sort of jewelry, he wears a crown. He has an aura of command, and the other people are certainly looking towards him at this very moment as you're sort of approaching. He, however, is apparently quite intently so. Not an accident, nor is he oblivious. Not looking at you, but rather the other way, as he speaks, letting his echo do the talking for him. You have been making quite some ruckus around here. I had assumed that you would come here, considering that everyone eventually ends up here. I do believe that's some talk we have to do. You've been sent here by someone, yes?
I look at him and say, no. I don't know what this game is, but I've seen one of these crystals before. Or the the remains of it. She looks, I believe I've seen the remains of this room, in fact.
Well, isn't that something? I would ask you in return what you are here to do, what you think you're here to do.
We're to end this farce, to end this cycle of death and destruction, and to free the souls of my people from this slavery that they've been captivated in.
He nods. A reasonable goal, a just goal even. This prison has been... Well, it should never have existed in the first place, but certain creatures, once given power, abuse said power relentlessly. He takes a step forward, extending his arms a bit in a friendly gesture, almost. Although the smile and friendly demeanor not really reaching his face.
You know, Graham has seen that mind twister down there, and he's ready to turn into a ghost on the fucking spot whenever something hostile happens. However, can he silently just use his natural 20 on a knowledge check with his Millicent's sword to know about this crystal? Because that is, I believe I've seen the remnants of this thing having exploded in the other world, where there was like a scorch mark and broken crystals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looked very similar. So
Yeah, you know also what works well here, Manako?
Mhm.
If we need to later, I have another natural 20 on a knowledge check on hand.
Yeah, the communication with Emerson is certainly non-verbal and fast enough that Graham can pretty much do it without being detected or being noticed. Millicent would be able to share that she too believes that this is supposed to be exactly what Graham thinks it is. She thinks she knows what this is all about, but she will also confer to Graham that she wouldn't think that this would be possible or plausible in the first place, and in fact was quite sure that back when you found this place in its current state, as Graham put it, that there was more to it, that this wasn't what she thought back then it was, but...
How does he wield it? That's the important thing. How does he wield the power of the crystal?
Well, first of all, Emerson thinks that this crystal's purpose is a bridge. Not a bridge between places, but a bridge between worlds. It is, however, a little bit more than that. It does not really create a bridge, but enable it, really. It rips open the place for... wow, I should be more concise here. It enables traversing to a different plane. Not particularly for this place. That is more of a side effect, really, that this entire place can be walked through and you come out on a different plane. But it is the thing that would allow other things to traverse through the plane between the planes. This would be the thing that makes the plane between the planes. It is as if you had a cliff. This crystal would basically fill that cliff with water, a canyon even, and allow you to reach the other side by swimming.
All right. And is this, I guess, is this the real one?
She
Like,
doesn't
is
think
this,
so.
is this fake? No, this is just an image, an illusion. Does it have power? Does it work? Could Graham open a world? Could Graham open a bridge to the world of the dead? That'd be a thing. Could
She
Enrican?
definitely doesn't think that this thing is the real thing. And hence it wouldn't really have any power.
Okay. That means that none of these things are real either.
Nope.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, with that
Echoes.
sort of instant realization, because this is just instant, mind sharing, allowed very not often, but Graham will look to these things and say, "So you are conscious about being in this place? You know what you're here, that you're here, what you're doing."
The horned humanoid nods. Oh, very much so, yes. It has been a long enough time for us to realize what is going on.
It's just, well, have you figured out how to... I suppose you haven't figured out how to disable this place.
Not entirely. However, we do believe it possible with outside assistance.
Oh, he surely gets a thought, just to himself, that maybe these dragons are here to supply blood for a ritual. Shakes his head slightly. Says, well, it is a little awkward screaming across this humming room. Could we maybe go and so all the ambush positioned marauders and twisted things and such.
Abyssal stalkers.
As it turns out, you know that you're not really real, and you also know that we are, and that we are here to end this and end your pointless existence in this place. So perhaps we could just not fight and deal with this as sensible people.
Just as we know that we are not real, we are aware that neither we nor you can be actually harmed. You could destroy us, but we would return eventually, just as we could destroy you, and presumably you would continue existing.
Not if we
And there's no point to it, is there?
Not if we stop this place from existing, then you would definitely not be here anymore. Which is what we offer, a way out.
Oh, but you misunderstand. We are not interested in ending our existence. We are interested in leaving.
Well, you can't, because you're not real.
I would disagree with that, although, of course, a philosopher might then ask, how would one know if one is real?
Do you have a corporeal body outside this time loop?
We once did.
I can shrugs.
So start by telling us, how do we end this place? And where is the copper? There's supposed to be a dragon here somewhere. Telling him. Are you him in disguise?
Oh no, God no. The copper doesn't have a form. He is this place.
Terribly inconvenient.
If you wanted to help us leave, then you would have to fight this place.
And if we just wanted to shut it down?
You would presumably have to do the same thing, but we would also oppose you, because we do not desire oblivion.
Looks back to the two dragons. Says, you two, don't remember your names. Come up here. You want to do this too, right?
Anakin looks at them,
What's your approach to this?
shakes his head again. Another. More creatures that want to live and exist, yet they choose to ally with the powers that destroy everything. What is wrong with people?
I've looked over this. Technically, to them, we're the powers that destroy everything.
Look at that thing. That's an abyssal stalker. It is literally made of anti-life.
I'm going to remind you, you're made of anti-life.
Looks over. I am not.
Shall I remind you how you looked a few minutes ago?
It was then.
No.
This is now. It's been a long time. I've gotten better.
I'll keep you to that next time I see you change.
Anakin mumbles.
Looks over to the two dragons and asks them, like, what would their plan here be? What's their approach?
The Blackcomb frowns at you, says, "We are not here to mess with the Copper's playgrounds. We are here to gain his assistance."
Go ahead. Step aside. If you insist on doing this alone, then have a go at it. Pointed to the room. That's the goal. That's the objective.
I fail to see how we should accomplish anything.
Grim nods. Well, I suppose that's fair. A common enough thing in life. And death, surprisingly enough. Just looks at this room. Says, so really, there's not some sort of compromise we can come to? Looks at Enrican. My friend here has a way with souls, and I'm sure that if you do have some sort of consciousness, you might have one. Certainly other beings in here have had one. So if we could deposit you into something, and that way we could, keep you in a jar or bottle or something. Looks at Enrican. Really little outside my area of knowledge, but I'm sure we could forge something out of them.
Talia just has to look for a second at her spirit bottle she has attached to her.
And so you would suggest to replace our current prison with an even smaller one?
I mean, we have to get you out somehow. And I'm not really... So if this place is really big, destroying it would take forever. And although I technically have forever, I have other cares in the world. I'm sure you understand. I mean, even if you don't really... I mean, do you have memories from before this place? He looks at them.
Certainly.
You are invaders of this world, I understand. You're servants of the great madness and such, but...
He frowns. I do not know what you know about us, but we certainly do not serve a great madness or anything as ridiculous as you make it sound.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, destroying this place or freeing us would not be as difficult as you might think. It would take some preparation, but just as I've said that the Great Copper does not have a form any longer, that could be changed. We could turn his own prison against him.
That sounds like a terrible idea. Looks at Enrican.
Anakin nods. I wouldn't like to kill the copper if I can help it.
I don't appreciate that he keep my people imprisoned or that he exploded everyone, but I'd really like to talk to him. He might have a good reason for it.
I'm afraid that will not be possible. It does seem as if we are not going to come to a compromise, are we?
Yes, we can certainly fight, and then we can fight again. Are you sure? How sure of victory are you? 90%? Yes, we will just return to life and come back. We can keep doing this forever until whatever small percent chance we have of winning hits home and we win. And then suddenly that's that. Repeating such a battle, if it is really eternal, has no point to it. We will all win infinite times if that's what it takes.
Yes, the circle will certainly continue unless we get outside assistance. You are correct. But unfortunately for you, fortunately for us, you are not the only people here.
He looks at the dragon and says, "Yep, come on in. They're right here, these two."
I
Though I do believe they are here to help the Great Copper.
think we'll go to initiative here, as the people in the room do start charging you.
Oh well.
Yeah.
And it does seem like your two dragons do seem intent on hostilities as well.
Against us.
Oh,
They're
yes.
allied to the Great Madness, so.
Great. See, I knew I should have saved the death circle for this.
Right, Copper, having them around was a shitty decision.
No.
Well, I don't know if you have anything. I don't know if you still have escalation dice power, Manakai, but now would be certainly a fun time for us
I
to go into
don't
it.
have that. Well, actually, I do. Yeah,
Oh,
I do have that.
instead of adding the escalation die, I flipped it.
Because certainly for this, certainly I'm thinking this might be my encounter where I end up using my where I end up using my domain of the sun if we get a good escalation dice.
Oh, just let everything go here. Like, you know?
Because the domain of the sun's certainly fun. It means I can expend my cleric spells and not have to care. They'll come back. So
You've certainly let those two get nearby. Alright, let me just add all these guys to initiative.
Anakin, I suddenly
Looks
feel
over
like
them,
we're away.
do they seem to be like, aha! No, it's a fool. We planned this. We're assholes.
Roll me some sense motive.
All right. Graham is biased, though, so he will.
I'm
say
going to assume
that's
yes.
If I don't get something good, that's what happened.
Both Graham and Hirondo would definitely think that they did, in fact, plan this. Hirondo would, however, also think that they aren't sure about this.
Oh, they're backstabbing madness-filled
At
assholes.
least Hirondo would think that the blue one, the blue term, isn't quite as sure as the black term about this.
You can talk him down. It's Warwick's brother, but
Speaking of
black
Rourke,
one is an
is he-
asshole. These two.